Don't measure yourself by what you have accomplished, but by what you should have accomplished with your ability. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tiltingground Untitled Notre Dame USC football podcast. I'm Michael Vito, and I'm here with Greg Flamong. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Michael.
That was a little John Wooden quote to start things off, since the season is basically over for both our teams. Thought it was
hmm
appropriate.
Yep, one game left. Another football season has come and gone. So sad.
You weren't returning my text yesterday during the big Stanford game.
Yeah, I was in Palos Verdes, and the reception out there is spotty. So
That's what I figured.
and the wife wouldn't have been so happy with me being on the phone all the time. So
Understandable.
yeah.
You didn't miss much, so I
Well,
think a
I
couple.
watched it. I watched the game, so I mean,
Oh,
I still saw it. Yeah.
yeah. No, I meant my tweets. You did, or my text. You didn't miss much.
Uh,
There was all the linebackers are garbage besides Sua Cravens. I think I sent that one to you.
you sent that one like during the first drive. You came to that conclusion real quick.
Real quick. Well, I'm just glad it paid. I'm glad I was right, I guess.
Yeah, you were.
I mean, good thing Christian McCaffrey is like gonna win the Heisman now. I guess like, I'll see lots of FC highlights when he accepts the trophy.
I'll tell you what, he definitely made a case. he he pretty much had all the yards.
Wait, what did he have? Like 462 or something, not counting the passing yards?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Pretty
it's
crazy.
really impressive when a team's starting quarterback and starting running back both have a receiving touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a throwing touchdown.
Not bad.
Not bad. I mean, yeah, I want to be upset and be like, oh man, SC was right there. But I mean, truthfully, the way they played in the first half, like they should have lost by exactly what they lost by. It was, they didn't deserve to be in that game. They got lucky to hang around, then they kind of got toasted towards the end.
Yeah, Stanford used up all their red zone mojo against us, and they couldn't find a way into the end zone, which is just really irritating for me to see. But then, big plays happened, and they found it again. So
Yeah, they didn't really need the red zone mojo. They had enough mojo all over the field. I mean, what did they have like, besides going into that last drive of the first half when SC got the field goal? When they have the ball for like 4 minutes, it was like
yeah,
just
they
the time of possession was
definitely had the
crazy.
ball. Yeah,
It's like, well, I mean, they don't have the ball. Like, I can't be mad at the offense for playing bad because they didn't have the ball.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I mean, you got to convert, and you got to convert on third down and stuff like that to try to. I mean, they weren't really running. That's everyone's favorite thing about Clay Helton, and they weren't really doing it. Um, they I think he forgot Ronald Jones was on the team there for a bit.
Well, if you want to like the best, they're not really running. If we jump ahead to the third quarter,
Mm.
so what are they down by? They're down five, I think. Can't remember the score. It's all a
Was
blur in
it?
my head.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're down five, and there's 54 seconds left before the fourth quarter, and they're on about the fourth. They're on their own like 43-yard line. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, perfect. This is perfect. So they're right in this thing going into the fourth quarter, and they run the ball for a 2-yard loss. Okay, whatever. They're still right in this thing going into the fourth quarter, and they throw the ball, so it stops the clock. And then the fateful Cody Kessler fumble sack or sack fumble. And like what? And then it's over. It's just pretty much over at that point.
Yeah,
It's not even the fourth quarter yet. Like it was setting up like perfect to be. Oh, they still got a shot. They're a score away, and then boom, suddenly they're not.
yeah. I mean, the big one. It was a really bad sequence for them because they had just taken the lead. Ronald Jones. It was 16-13.
Yeah.
Um, and then they had a 1st and 25. It was so funny. So this part of the game, we left we left the party that we were at, and I was listening on the radio. So see how loyal I am, Michael, for the
Hey,
podcast. I'm listening.
we got to give
on
the people
radio.
what they want.
So SC had just gotten a couple of penalties, and they got the ball down to like, there's Stanford 7, but then they called the illegal block or the chop block.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and the SC announcer guy is just like, oh, and just when SC is trying to get it going, the referee has to come over and take over the game. And I'm like, whoa, like it's just one penalty. Like, calm down, man.
It was a little dicey, but still, I mean.
But like he said that before he'd even seen anything. Like he was just like, oh, and they gotta come take over the game. It's like you had just gotten like 2 penalties. So I thought that was pretty funny. So Ronald Jones, he runs it in.
Great run by the way.
Oh, I mean that's what he does, Michael.
Broke a tackle and everything.
Yeah, he's a superstar. And then they got the 3rd down and they hit McCaffrey, who runs it all the way down. And I tell you what, John Jackson on the radio was fired up about it because right after the play, he's like, "That's just a terrible defensive call. You've got the linebacker on McCaffrey. He's never going to succeed in that spot." And he didn't. So McCaffrey runs it all the way down.
Allegedly, this is what Twitter was saying today, is that Clay Helton got on the headset to Justin Wilcox and was like, "Who was supposed to be covering McCaffrey?" And Wilcox answered back, "I don't know." That's the rumor that really happened.
I saw that on Twitter, and
it just can't be true.
I saw that on Twitter, and that reeks of just like throwing a guy under the bus.
Right.
Like, where have you ever heard that? Like, even if it's true, like it might very well be true, but it's like you're calling out a coach. It's like on a big thing. It's like we had to fire him because he didn't know who was supposed to be covering who.
Right. It's
like, come on.
I mean, you know who's supposed to be covering him because you saw McCaffrey run right by the linebacker trying to cover him. Like, everyone knew.
Clay Helton obviously knows. I mean, John Jackson knew who it was, like, right away. So it's hard for me to say, like, oh, he didn't know. Like, I think that's a little USC spin, and that's being leaked from someone in the athletic department.
Right. I mean, maybe he really said it, but he might not. It might have been like one of those taken out of context kind of things. Like, come on, we were in cover 1.
And,
like, who do you think was supposed to cover him?
The whole thing is like weak sauce. It's it's just ridiculous. But anyway, so they had just taken the lead, and it was like, look, you got totally dominated, and now you're winning the game. And then Stanford comes right down and scores, and then it's 20-16, and then Cody Kessler gets the strip sack. And now it's 27-16, and it's just like you're right where you were before.
Right.
You basically come all that way, and then you lost it all. And after that, I mean, they never could really regain kind of an edge in the game.
Well, I mean, they couldn't stop Stanford.
Right, that's what I mean. But they never had like that kind of momentum where it was like, oh, we're we've kind of got them on their heels a little bit. You just couldn't do it.
They had the Cody Kessler read option, which has been set up for the last 4 years for him to actually run with the ball. No one saw that coming.
No.
I guess they used it at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me of the Tommy Rees quarterback draw against Michigan in 2012. No one would have predicted that.
No one saw it coming. Speaking of Mr. Kessler, I mean, I'm trying to think of the word to describe him. They were calling Kevin Hogan a game manager all day, and like I want to call Cody Kessler that, but I feel like that's an insult to game managers. Like he's just so blah, just blah blah blah. Like, oh yeah, he can make some throws, he could makes generally the right read. He loves to lock on Juju, you know. So maybe he doesn't even make good reads, actually. He just looks at this really good receiver.
Well, as it turns out, Michael, it's a lot better. It's a lot easier to play when you've got Nelson Aguilar and you've got George Farmer and you've got Juju Smith on the team.
That is a benefit to your quarterback.
That definitely helps. So, you take away the weapons and it's a lot more difficult.
That's true. That is true.
I've been saying it for a long time. They don't have a ton of weapons at receiver. They just don't.
Well, hopefully the new guys coming in will replenish everything.
Yeah, by the way, whatever happened to Jalen Green throwing passes?
I don't even know. I don't even think I saw him out there. I can't even remember his number anymore.
Where did that go? I didn't either. I didn't see him out there. He's number 10.
Yeah, and that's a fun little thing that they could have tried. That it usually worked.
Definitely a thing.
like what was he, 3 for 3 on throwing the ball?
He's unbelievable.
He's the best
touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean he's a good receiver. He's a good athlete. It's a fun thing. It's a fun thing to do. Yeah, where'd it go? I don't know.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, like Adoree Jackson, like why even bother putting him on offense? He did have the good run. I will concede the run. The run works pretty well. But it's just wasting his time. Put him on offense all the time. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you see they moved him to safety?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't notice that.
Yeah. He played safety against UCLA too. Which is funny.
Well, I saw him make the play at the very beginning of the game where it looked like the guy had him beat, and then he kind of recovered a little bit towards the end there. Yeah. And I was like, oh, thank God you're fast.
Yeah. He's just so tiny. It's probably one of those things like you put him at safety, but you'll almost put him in nickel.
Right. He's always in man coverage on somebody.
Yeah, it's not like he's,
stop the run or guarding tight ends.
Like in the box, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it's like reverse Sua Cravens.
Exactly. Trying
it's
to
like, oh, you're a linebacker, but you're really a safety. I don't know. What else made me mad yesterday? Trey Madden barely got any touches. I always like when he gets a couple.
Well, it's a problem when
you don't have the ball. I know.
It's a problem. Well, it's a problem when Ronald Jones doesn't get him. I mean, that's the one. He's got to get double-digit touches in every game. There's no excuse for him not to.
Well, apparently they didn't need him yesterday.
You just can't. You just can't happen. He's one, and it's like I was just saying. You're already weak at receiver. You need to accentuate your guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's one of your better players.
He should get the ball a little more.
Yeah.
You just gotta, you gotta find ways to work him in. And they didn't have the ball in the first half, so it's a little unfair, but still, yes, you gotta find ways to work him in. Did you see Juju Smith-Schuster try to fight the guy? Then try to fight his own teammate?
I saw him do just a number of things that were just look, we talk about Juju Smith a lot on this podcast, and we like how fiery he is, and that's great.
He can start to wear a little thin.
At some point, you're just being a jerk, dude. I appreciate that you're intense, but everyone is kind of intense. It's he punches, he goes after the guy who tries to help him up.
Yeah.
What's your deal, man? And I saw another one. I can't believe he didn't get a penalty for this. He caught it. I think it was on the drive where right before the half.
Okay.
They finally got the ball moving, and I think they kicked the field goal. And he catches it, and he doesn't even get a first down, but he just grabs the guy's face and does a stiff arm, and he punches him. I couldn't believe they didn't throw it's the most textbook offensive face mask I don't know that I've ever seen, and they didn't call it. And but I was like, dude, this guy, he needs to chill. Like, just be normal.
Yeah, when your team's
Um,
10-0, you're a competitor. When you're
and
eight
I,
and five, it's like, hey,
and
you're
I
just
and I
you're just
feel
being an
like
a-hole.
he's getting like progressively worse too.
Yeah,
Like at the beginning of the year, he was just kind of like a little bit like he didn't do this stuff against Notre Dame, and like he made a couple catches. I mean, he did the thing like he shushed the crowd, but like he wasn't acting like a crazy lunatic. And the last few like games, he's just been like on another level of just like, what is
yeah.
going on with you, man?
Like, hey, let's dial it back just one.
Yeah, just a smidge.
Oh man. But yeah, that's our. I thought of you the second he threw the punch at the guy.
Oh man,
That's what? It's like, what are you
like
doing?
dude, get out of here. And like they enable it because like they don't, nothing ever comes of it, you know.
Well, I mean, they know, like, he knows he's the best player.
I
He knows
know
he's the only guy the quarterback looks at.
you can't just be punching people.
That is true. You can't just be punching people.
Be a normal person.
That's the takeaway quote from this podcast. You can't just be
Yeah.
punching people.
Boom,
Boom. So
boom.
during on the Twitter, this was also on Twitter. The SC Twitter was fun last night. They were saying uh, in the what was it, Levi Stadium? In the Levi Stadium press box, you could hear all the SC coordinators swearing through the walls. So, and then someone actually went in to tell them to stop because everyone could hear them. All the reporters in the press box could hear them.
Why do they have to stop swearing?
I think it was just a little unbecoming since everyone could
Oh,
hear.
oh,
It was because everyone could hear was the problem. It wasn't like, oh, you guys are fired up in there. It's like the whole world can hear you guys cursing, and
oh.
it's kind of embarrassing.
Those people wouldn't like. They wouldn't like to watch a game with me.
Well, you're in the comfort of your own home. You're not around, the
I mean,
press,
I
the,
guess.
the
Like,
media.
I don't know. It's to me, it's not really that big of a thing. But all right.
It was just kind of funny.
Yeah.
So speaking of the defensive coordinators who were cursing in the press box, they are no longer the defensive coaches at USC.
So they're not. They're not. They're not going to be swearing in any press boxes anytime soon.
Yes, as of today, they let's see if I can get all their names right. So defensive coordinator Justin Wilcox gone, DB coach Keith Hayward gone, D line coach Chris Wilson gone, O line coach Bob Connolly gone. So those are your scapegoats for the Stanford loss.
You know what my favorite part about that is, Michael?
Tell me.
Is so Clay Helton coached 7 games after Sarkisian was fired, and he went 4-3.
Right.
And that record got him full control of the football program, USC.
Mm-hmm.
And the hiring and firing of coordinators when he's one of the coordinators. Like,
right. Well,
like you were a part of that. Like you were just like them. And like I would be so annoyed if I was Clay Helton. It's like Wilcox. I'm like, wait a minute. You were the offensive coordinator while all this was happening, and now you're firing me? Like, that's so... Go ahead.
I say, well, T. Martin and Marcus Tuiapasopo got to stay.
Yeah. All the offensive coaches, like, you're all good. You guys, well, like, the line coaches, both line coaches are gone. Secondary coach is gone. And
sorry,
I did see on Twitter that the players didn't like them.
But once again, like, who cares?
Which is great. Like, more players making decisions.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, this Pat Hayden thing is just, at what point are you going to do your job? Like, you hire you have a coach who is showing up drunk to things, and you don't do anything. And then you go 2-2, so it's like, all right, we got to fire him. Then you name an interim, and then don't bother to do a coaching search at all.
Just because.
Yeah, just because Clay Helton beat UCLA and that made you feel good. So then he loses again, so he's 4-3, and you're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna lock him up, and I'm gonna give him total control over the program. It's completely unbelievable.
I don't know, man. I wish I had. I wish I had something to add to that. I don't.
It's great.
They're gonna need a new offensive coordinator because Clay will not be calling the plays anymore. He said that today.
I know you saw the rumor of who it might be, Michael.
His brother.
His brother.
Well, Western Kentucky, man, they get the points. They score a lot of points.
I'm sure they do, Michael.
I think they're in a bowl game.
I'm sure they do. Who
Who isn't in a bowl game?
Yeah. I hope they do have all the points. Bring the spread to USC.
I know, that would never fly. That's what would get Pat Hayden mad. He'd be like, no, guys.
Bring the spread.
No one would like that.
Let's ask Juju who he wants.
Yeah, I know. He's like, I don't care. Just throw me the ball.
What a bunch of jokers.
Ugh. It was, yeah. It just kills me. They said Ed Orgeron still might come back as the D-line coach. That's still in the air, maybe.
I saw that. That's so weird. And Clancy Pendergraft?
Oh, yeah, Clancy Pendergraft may come back.
They are just, I can't believe they're doubling down on all this stuff.
It's so dumb.
It's so good. It's like, let's just bring back all our old coaches. I hope that Brian Kelly fires Brian Van Gorder and brings back Bob Diaco. Like, no. Like,
just so you can feel what I feel?
Just run it back.
It's like, they were pretty good.
I could name some other coaches that you wouldn't recognize their names, but yeah, it's just.
Thank you.
I can't believe they're bringing back retreads. It's so good.
It's like you could do anything. If someone said, they're saving all this money keeping Clay Helton as the head coach, why don't they spend it on coordinators? I thought that was pretty funny.
It's not like the saving money on Clay Helton. It's like, first of all, the money that they have is endless for this sort of thing, and second of all, like, it's not like you can save money on Clay Helton and then spend it on like a linebacker.
That's true.
There's no free agents. That's not how it works. Well, maybe it is, but
not directly.
Degree. Not directly.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I know. It's just so bizarre. It's
crazy.
It's all crazy. Let's see, what else? What other USC?
And meanwhile, Miami walks into Mark Richt.
I know. It's like, wait, you're this guy, the good coach from Georgia, who has a pretty quality program every year in a competitive division. Wait, I don't understand. Brutal. Let's see. Oh, did you see Reggie Bush made a cameo at the Pac-12 title game?
No.
Oh, yeah. So Reggie Bush, who is banned from interacting with the USC Trojans, I think it's a Trojan self-imposed ban. I don't think the NCAA can actually...
they're mad at him. They're very mad at him.
I don't think the NCAA can actually do that.
No.
So Reggie Bush just burst into the locker room before the game and got all the players all hyped up.
Reggie Bush did?
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, he pregame went into the locker room and got all the SC players hyped up because he was there because he's on the Pac-12 All-Century team.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he was there. And then since he was there, he took it upon himself to go talk to the Trojans. Clearly, it didn't work.
Yeah, maybe it worked for like 10 minutes.
That's the other thing. I can't believe, this is a little off topic, but I can't believe that John Elway is the Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Century. It's just, I mean, he didn't even win a Heisman. He didn't even win a national title.
I don't even know that he was that good there.
I think he was 2-time Pac-10 Player of the Year.
I mean, was he?
I think so. I think I read that when I was trying to figure out. And then, it's hard to like put people's numbers in comparison because you kind of got to do it in the time he was throwing the ball around and stuff.
Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Century?
Yeah.
I mean...
So, that means he's better than
You got a couple running backs at USC who are like winning Heisman.
Yeah, like Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson.
Marcus Allen, OJ.
I mean, O.J. can't win for obvious reasons, I guess. That might have been the real
But like
problem.
Charles White, Anthony Davis,
Reggie Bush.
I mean, Matt Leinart.
I mean, Andrew Luck, I think, broke every Elway record at Stanford.
Yeah. And it's not like Elway won anything at Stanford.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when they said that yesterday. I was like, well, that's not okay.
Because he went on to win Super Bowls.
But he looked real sharp.
I mean, they're obviously including that into the consideration.
Because he's real famous now.
Yeah, I mean, he went on and did something. Like who else did?
Yeah, I mean, once again, OJ probably excluded from the running.
He's probably the best one though.
Yeah, he probably is. But yeah, maybe Christian McCaffrey when we're all said and done. He's only a sophomore.
Maybe.
And what, he has the most all-purpose yards ever now after this little game.
I tell you what, man. When you beat out Barry Sanders for something and what he did in college, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Barry Sanders' college stats are crazy.
He did. He rushed for like 2,600 yards his senior year.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Yeah. Insane.
I wondered if he returned to kicks. I mean, he must have, right? He must have returned kicks.
Oh, he absolutely did. Okay. I don't know that he did as a senior or as a junior, but he definitely did as like a sophomore and a freshman.
Okay. But yeah.
But I don't know what to.
Yeah, I don't care that much. Okay. Christian McCaffrey, man, his numbers are crazy. Just crazy. And that's even worse for you because Notre Dame pretty much shut him down.
Well, I mean, you know, the Notre Dame focused on McCaffrey, and Kevin Hogan ripped him apart. And I don't know what USC was focused on, but it wasn't Christian McCaffrey. So
yeah, I don't think they quite know either.
Yeah,
well. So let's see. SC's going on to play Wisconsin in the Holiday Bowl. Yay. Great. I think back-to-back Holiday Bowls for USC. That's got to get the fan base excited.
I looked up.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go. No, I want yours.
Well, no, I was just going to say I looked up some stuff on Wisconsin real quick.
Oh, just real dirty, real quick and dirty?
Yeah, I mean, just a cursory little, like, how should I feel about this game?
Okay.
So Wisconsin's really good on defense, and they're not so good on offense.
There you go.
I mean, they're probably, I mean, they're top 10 in both passing and rushing defense, and they're like third or fifth in total defense. And they but their offense, I mean, they don't have like a really good running back this year, which is weird.
Because they always do.
Yeah, they have one receiver who has like, I don't know, most of their catches, but he doesn't even have 1,000 yards. So, I mean, you know, that's what you got coming to you. I mean, it kind of boils down to which team is most into the game, really.
Right. Well, fun fact for all the listeners, for some reason, I don't know what it is, I hate Wisconsin. There's no rational reason for me to like or dislike Wisconsin, but I dislike them for some reason. I don't know. So maybe the Trojans will beat them. I don't know, but it'd make me happy because I never want Wisconsin to win it at anything. Just the University of.
Okay.
To be specific, the rest of the state I'm fine with. Milwaukee, great. Do your thing. Brew Crew, go.
So interesting.
Yeah, the University of Wisconsin. I don't like them, and I have no reason. I don't know why. Maybe because when we were kids, they used to play in the Rose Bowl with like Ron Dane all the time. I don't know.
I went to that. Ron Dane against Stanford. It was the worst.
I imagine he ran all over him.
He kind of did, but it was just terrible. It was really boring.
Ugh. Both teams are red too. It's not even fun to look at.
No.
Oh, in the media or the picture SC put out today, they're like, hey, we're Holiday Bowl bound. They had a picture of Sua Cravens to represent the defense, and on the other side of the press release, they had a picture of Adoree Jackson catching a ball. I was like, wait a second, that's really like what? Cody Kessler fumbles, we don't show him anymore, or Juju's the best player on offense?
Juju's fighting someone right now over that.
We'll show our cornerback catching a ball.
Juju is furious.
That made me kind of mad. But yeah, we will get to bowl previews once the games are closer. So that's it for USC's regular season. It was a sad game. Any fun Notre Dame stuff happened this week? So who are they playing in their bowl game, if the people don't know?
They're playing Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yuck.
Ohio State. Yuck?
Ohio State. I mean, you know.
Well, no, I mean, mostly I'm just happy to be playing in the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, it's one of these fun bowl games. Like, in 2013, they played in, like, the Pinstripe Bowl.
Yes, in Yankee Stadium, I believe.
Yeah, which is, like, against Rutgers. That was dumb.
That's pretty garbage.
2014, last year, they played, it was a little better. They played against LSU in the Independence Bowl, but
still.
It's kind of like, it's not really a game anyone cares about, but, like, everyone's going to be watching this game.
Just because it's two good teams, not so much because of the bowl, though.
Well, everyone likes the Fiesta Bowl. I mean,
no, I mean Independence Bowl, not the Fiesta Bowl. Everyone likes the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh yeah, I get you. Yeah, so I'm fired up about just playing in a New Year's Day game again.
What was the year that Notre Dame didn't play in the bowl game? They're like, no, we're not going to accept your offer. We're better than that.
It was '96 actually.
Oh, was that long ago?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was kind of weird year because that was the year that Lou Holtz was leaving. And they had just lost to USC for the first time in 11 years. I was at that game as well. What a freaking travesty that was. And so they lost, and it was like, well, we don't want to go to one of these lesser bowls, and we're already in transition anyway, so we just won't go. I mean, I hated it just because, like, I would like to watch Notre Dame play football. So,
right.
But yeah, that was the reasoning back then.
I understand.
Yeah.
So it's Ohio State Fiesta Bowl, January 1st.
January 1st, 10 a.m. Pacific.
I saw that Brian Kelly had a press conference today.
He did.
Kavari Russell out for the game. CJ Prosise not sure.
I imagine he'll play. I mean, I'd like him to play, obviously. I mean, what do they have, about 23 days here to get him healthy, so I think that should be okay.
Who's the defensive tackle? Why can't I think of his name right now?
Jerron Jones.
Yeah, that's it. Jerron Jones. So he's good to go?
Apparently, I have my expectations couldn't be lower.
My question is he a senior?
Are you talking about burning year of eligibility?
Yeah, that's where I'm going with this. Thank you.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Okay.
He was gonna eat. If he had a big year this year, he would have come out. So he'll just play his last year next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not that.
And then he's not good. Maybe he'll try for the medical red shirt in the past or whatever.
I don't think that's available to him because he sat out a year of his own volition, kind of thing. Like, so the rules on that are kind of weird. But I was reading today. I don't think that's available to him. I mean, I don't really I'm not super we need to get him 2 more years. He'll play next year and that'll be fine.
Got it.
He hasn't played football since August. I mean, you can't just walk in. I mean, he's good. I'm not saying he's not. But you can't just walk into the Fiesta Bowl against Ohio State and be like, all right, guys, let's do it. Like,
I mean, that's my complaint about most of the big bowl games, actually, just as in general as a sports fan. Like, I always hate it when, like, a team like Oregon, who has this, fast-paced, like, offense that requires a lot of timing, a lot of practice, and it gets better as the year goes on. And then they got to take 4 weeks off and, like, just goof around in practice and go home for Christmas and, like, go to parties and things like that. And it's like, well, that's not quite the team that was playing at the end of the year.
it's definitely away from. It's almost like it's like its own little season. Like it's
Yeah.
You have the regular season and then you have the bowl games. I mean, it's like people look at bowl games as like some sort of measuring stick for conferences, but it's like some teams don't really care, and some teams really care. Like if Notre Dame was to play Houston, right? Like, or they're like Houston's playing Florida State. Well, how much does Florida State care about playing in the Peach Bowl against Houston?
0.
They don't. Like, it's like whatever. Like, we didn't get what we want. We didn't win the ACC. We didn't go to the playoff. Dalvin Cook, he just doesn't want to get hurt. It is the biggest game in the history of Houston's program.
Right.
So, like, if Houston happens to beat them, it's like, oh, well, look at what Houston did. And of course, like, Florida State isn't as invested. So that's my big hope for Notre Dame against Ohio State.
Ohio State will be sad.
Yeah, just like maybe, Ezekiel Elliott said he's going pro. Like maybe he's already doing that. Joey Bosa is going pro. Cardale Jones is going pro. I know he's probably not going to play, but it's like you have guys around the program who aren't fully invested in the game, whereas Notre Dame, like, they didn't win the national title last year.
Right.
Beating Ohio State. If they were to beat Ohio State in this game, it would be the best thing that the seniors on this team have done.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's sort of not true. I mean, because, like, a lot of them were on
the national title game team.
But, like, most of them
didn't lost.
Play. But most of them didn't play. Right, exactly. So, like...
It's not like they won.
Yeah, so, like, it would be the best win of their careers
by
far. So, yeah, I just... but Ohio State can't say that. I mean, they played in...
They won the national title last year.
Exactly. So...
I saw Will Fuller and Ezekiel Elliott were sending some friendly tweets back to each other, like, can't wait to see you, gonna bring you, bro, that kind of stuff. That was kind of fun. Nothing mean spirited.
Oh, good.
I saw that Will Fuller put in for a draft grade though.
Well, it's funny because he made his announcement, and then the next day they talked to Brian Kelly, and Brian Kelly was like, well, we'll see about that. So, like, he slow played it. Personally, like, I don't see Will Fuller going anywhere. Like, he's really played himself into not being a first-round pick. And it would be crazy for him to come out if he's not a first rounder, because you figure like he's gonna put up big numbers again. Like, he has things to work on. I mean, he's dropping passes all the time,
right?
So he can work on his strength, he can work on his hands, he can work on his route running, like he can work on everything. And there have been some teams that gave him trouble this year. So and we'll see what he does against Ohio State. If he has a big game against Ohio State, maybe, but strike while the iron is hot.
That is true.
But I don't see it.
Yeah, that'd be weird. That'd be weird for him to make the big announcement and then like, oh no, psych.
It would be weird. It would.
Well, why'd you say anything then? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be super bummed because like I love watching him play, but like receiver is a really good position for Notre Dame, so.
Not the biggest deal.
Not the biggest. Right.
I mean, you always want
I
your
mean,
best players. I mean,
yeah, like yeah, like they don't have someone like him. You know, it's not like they got someone like him waiting in the wings. They don't. But I just feel like they could still move the ball if he didn't come back.
as we've seen,
Yeah.
they can move the ball all kinds of different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we won't go too far into Ohio State either. We got time for that. Any other Notre Dame stuff that happened this week?
No, I mean it was pretty quiet.
Yeah, it looked pretty quiet.
Yeah, I mean there's not much going on. Like the coaches are out recruiting, the players aren't doing anything.
Hopefully the players aren't doing anything.
Right, exactly. So, um, so yeah, there's not much to discuss on that front. Do you want to talk about the just the playoff a little bit, just like
Sure,
how that all shook down?
we could do a little playoff talk while we're here, so we got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So it's Clemson and Oklahoma, and then Alabama and Michigan State,
Correct.
and they play on December 31st.
December 31st. That's right.
Did you see the fake punt, the Clemson fake punt?
I didn't see it. I know that he. I was intently watching the USC game, Michael.
I did miss a big Justin Davis run.
I know.
Watching Dabo Sweet chew out his punter.
I know that he got yelled at. Yeah, I know that he got yelled at. Because I guess on his own he decided to do this.
So I'm gonna hot take here, and I kind of think that one of two things happened. It's either Clemson had an automatic like fake punt built in if they saw like an overload on one side or something, you know, like the kid just wouldn't run, right? I mean, there's something had to trigger him to run. So my guess is, you know, if he saw numbers on one side, he got to run. Now that's how they played it. And if your coach doesn't tell you like, oh, hey, all fake punts are off, like what's some dumb kid supposed to do? Or he thought he couldn't get the punt off and didn't know what to do, and I don't know, like, should you really get aired out for that? Like, or at least that bad.
It's one of those things, like, he's just kind of letting out his frustration. I'm actually watching it right now. What was the yardage?
It was a lot. It was like 4th and 18 or something. Like, it wasn't like 4th and 8. So it was a dumb choice, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it now. Like, I can see why he did it because they are all, like, running over there. If one guy makes a block, he can probably get there.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, too.
So it's not cool to air out your player like that because if he has an automatic – then it's like one of those things where it's like if you're counting on him to use common sense, then that's your fault.
Yeah, don't give him automatic.
Like we've talked about it before. Like you coach and I coach. Like we coach on lower levels, but basically like everything that happened, I felt like I was responsible. Like it's my fault. Like even when the quarterback would throw an interception and I told him to throw it to and he didn't, so I would tell him to throw it to X and he would throw it to Y. I still feel like that's my fault because not my fault, but I'm responsible. It's like it's one of those things like I need to explain to him why we're doing that.
Right, like we're setting this up. Trust me, it'll be open.
Yeah, like I need to we should have practiced it more. Like I feel so like if you're asking him to read the situation on his own and he didn't, like that's the coach. And like you can yell at him and that's fine, but like you're wrong for doing that.
Yeah, that's all I thought too. I was like, man, like this is your like you're in charge. Like what I really wanted to happen though was they got to punt again like 6 plays later.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to run a fake punt so bad. Like no one would have seen it coming. It was like 4th and 8 too. I was like, oh man, run a fake punt. No one's gonna see this coming.
The kids should have done the same thing over again. And, like the pitcher in Bad News Bears, like just like walking off the field, like eyeing down his dad.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
It's like, this is what you wanted, Dabo.
I'll show you. Show me up. I'll show you up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Clemson's playing Oklahoma. I assume Clemson's going to win. We're making predictions.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a really good game.
A lot of offense.
Yeah.
With one of my favorite names, Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
And then we got.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, I'm just curious, like, so about, like, I mean, I don't really want to talk about the matchups because, like, personally, I just don't care. Like, I'll watch and I'll be excited, but
yeah,
I was curious what you think about Iowa. So they're still ranked ahead of Ohio State.
Which is kind of weird.
It's kind of weird. I guess the point is that, and I wonder what you think about this. It's like, why should anyone play tough teams?
Well, I mean, look at the SEC. They've made a real habit out of not playing tough teams. Besides their
right, but like even if you look at like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly my point. Like people talk about Baylor and stuff, and how it's like, oh, they don't play anyone, but if they were undefeated, like they would be in.
Yeah.
So like they're not really being punished for that.
Like you really only need to play like one kind of good team, maybe. Like, or you need to be good like a couple
not even then. You don't have to play. You don't have to play any good team.
That's true. Look at Iowa.
Like look at who Baylor played. Like they didn't play anyone.
That's true. I guess you just have to be good like a couple years in a row, like Baylor ever since RG3, and then they kind of get your name out there, and then you're always.
And then you have to score a lot of points.
Yeah, you score a lot of points.
People love like high scores. Like even when they gave up, like when I say score a lot of points, like duh, that's obviously good, but they gave up 41 points to Lamar. Like
that's bad.
Like I think that Brian Van Gorder sucks. Like he didn't give up 41 to. I don't even know what Lamar is. I mean, where is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so like I don't. It's so like all you need to do is score a lot, and it's like like I said, like they lost to Oklahoma. So even in their terrible out of conference schedule and their terrible conference, really, they lost to Oklahoma and they stayed in the top 10. And if they had won out, they would have had an outside chance, even with a loss, to get into the playoff. So
what's the point of playing good teams?
Why? Like they say, oh, we're going to punish you, but no, we're not going to punish you. Even North Carolina. Like, what would have happened if North Carolina beat Clemson?
Yeah, I was wondering that actually when I was watching the game.
They would have had a case to jump in, and they played. Yeah. They played 2 FCS schools and lost to South Carolina, who's terrible.
Yeah, it's not very good this year.
It's so you don't get penalized for playing bad teams. So why should anyone? And that's the funny thing, Mike, is that like people were talking about like Notre Dame's best win. Like, well, who did they beat? Like who? Like what? Navy? Like Temple? Like I'm supposed to be impressed with that? And it's like, well, like I'm sorry that Texas sucked, and I'm sorry that USC was bad. But like we didn't schedule James Madison either.
Right.
And we didn't schedule Lamar. And, we played teams from 4 different conferences. And it's like, yeah, it turns out that, if they had beaten Stanford, like no one would have had anything to say.
No.
And I'm really curious to know what would have happened if they had beaten Stanford, like what would have happened with Oklahoma and then this week. I don't want to get too into it because it
didn't happen.
Stanford, so it's a waste of our time. But I'm just curious to know. Like it's like yeah, they didn't have like beat like a great team and like heading into the Stanford game, but like they lost to Clemson and they didn't get like a month off to lick their wounds and get ready like a team like Oklahoma did, who lost to Texas, and then they got to play like a 3-8 team, an 0-11 team, a 4-6 team. Like they played like a month of just garbage,
Right?
Terrible teams. Notre Dame.
They played all ranked teams, right?
They
Right?
played after Clemson. They played Navy, who
became ranked,
10-2. They played USC,
who is ranked,
who is ranked and played for their conference championship, 8-4. Then they played Clemson, or not Clemson, Temple, who just played in their conference championship, and they played Pitt, who was 8-4. I mean, they didn't get a month off. Like they had 5 consecutive weeks of undefeated Clemson, 10-win Navy, 8-win USC, 10-win Temple, and 8-win Pitt. You know, so like people can say whatever they want about like, oh, you know, we're gonna punish teams for playing FCS schools or whatever, but no, you're not.
Nah, no one does.
So like, why should anyone schedule tough teams? Look at Iowa. What did they? What they?
I don't even know who they played. I don't even know their non-conference schedule.
Their best win is 27-24 against Pitt. That's their best win out of conference, which is fine. But like,
that's good win.
They beat one ranked team.
Yeah, that's not good.
Notre Dame beat 3. They played 2. Notre Dame played 5. Like, come on. I mean, come on. Like you're not playing. Notre Dame's not playing on equal ground. And the idea that people say like, oh, Notre Dame should join a conference, like, that's ridiculous.
I mean, you're probably better off not joining a conference.
Dude, who wants to? Why would I join a conference? Who was I? Was I talking to you about this on the last podcast?
I don't think so.
On the phone. Why would they join a conference? Someone wrote an article about this, like, and it just totally hit right on the head. Like, joining a conference only makes their schedule worse. Let's say they join the Big Ten, like then they can't play Stanford, they can't play USC, they can't play Navy, they can't play all those teams. It's crazy. They can't play Texas. They can't play them. And it's like, oh wow, we're going to replace them with stupid like Purdue.
I know, right?
In Illinois. Like, that's silly. So like, why do that? It's like Notre Dame gets to play all over the country. It's like, why would you give that up against all these different conferences? Why would you give that up so that you can be worse? You can play a worse schedule.
And everybody wants to play you, or
yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah. So I don't, but to get back to it, I don't know why like these teams aren't incentivized. They say we're going to punish you, but then they don't.
They don't.
They're not incentivized.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you're totally right. I mean, as a fan of one of the other schools who's never played a football championship subdivision team, like, yeah, I mean, SC played some crappy teams this year, which is kind of weird, but usually
they have to play Notre Dame every year.
That is true. They don't have to play. Who was it? Northern Alabama or something?
Or Arkansas?
Yeah, Arkansas.
Arkansas State.
And Idaho.
They don't have to, but you know what though? Like they like I said, they still play Notre Dame every year, who they know is going to be ranked.
They play Alabama next year. Ooh.
Yeah, see? They play Alabama and Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
With a new quarterback. Ooh.
I bet have Clay Helton now, so it's fine.
Anyone will be calling the plays. So. All right. I think we're good for today.
Okay, buddy.
We got. I'm gonna try to have some fun stuff planned for the next 2 weeks. So all listeners be prepared for that. So we will keep our weekly schedule even though there are no games. You can follow us on iTunes. It's the Tiltingground Untitled Notre Dame USC Football Podcast. When you follow us on iTunes, please leave a review. We also have a Facebook page that has lots of Notre Dame and USC articles. People seem to like it, so we have all your info there. We also post the podcast there. You can follow Greg on Twitter. Greg, what's your Twitter?
At Greg2126.
I actually haven't seen anything from Greg in a while, but I was on vacation, so
I'm sorry, buddy.
I expect the news from you. I'm Michael Muto on Twitter. I need to start tweeting again. You can follow us at Tiltingground at Twitter. And we have a Tiltingground NFL podcast. So when you search Tiltingground, you'll see our Notre Dame USC podcast and an NFL podcast. And I got to thank Match and Flutter for the song. I haven't done that in a couple weeks for the opening song. Thank you guys. And fight on.
Go Irish.